welcome back. I'm glad you're here. This is Niyi Sobo, your mindset coach, showing you how to dominate at a high level, getting your mind right. Your mentality is everything. We're witnessing right now a lot of, some of our favorite athletes really melting under the pressure. We've got athletes begging fans to stop calling them certain things. We've got athletes running from adversity. We've got athletes making excuses. We have a pandemic of softness that has to end. All right. So I have a challenge for you. And this is very, very important. A challenge for you, especially if you're claiming to be someone who wants to dominate at a high level. And the challenge is to combat this softness in whatever way that you can, as aggressively as you can. And I'm going to show you how. But I want to first tell you what the softness looks like. Making excuses for why something happened, running from challenges or hard situations, blaming other people. This softness cannot be you. You cannot become a victim to this pandemic. You've got to do something that's going to harden yourself, that's going to toughen yourself, and put yourself back in a position of power, which is so important, especially when it comes to playing sports. This is the reason why sports is so beautiful. This is why we like watching sports, because we realize the best one wins. We realize that it's up to you to be prepared. We realize that it's up to you to make the right play. You can't make as many excuses in sports. We see it. We can watch the film. We see that he's stronger than you, more skilled. We see putting the time. It's evident. So this is what you have to do. And you've heard it before. And I know it sounds cliche. You got to take responsibility. You got to take back ownership. Too much excuse making. And I really wanted to lay this out for you because, again, now more than ever, I'm surprised at the athletes that we once admired are like making excuses, crying about shit. I don't understand it. You got to take responsibility. And taking responsibility means realizing the power that you have to change something. And it's realizing that your lack of power that you've exercised is what brought you to where you're at. It's taking ownership, accepting your part in where you are right now, and more importantly, accepting the reality that you can do something about it moving forward. You don't have to continue to make excuses and look around you and blame other people for where it is that you're at. All right? So let me give you a few very practical things that you can do to start taking back the control and taking back responsibility, even if the athletes that you admire are not doing that. Number one, evaluate yourself after losses. When you lose, evaluate yourself. Don't point fingers. Certainly don't go, under the mic and start telling reporters about all this other shit. Nobody wants to hear that. You can say that for your wife or your husband when you get home. You can do that complaining. Don't do that in front of everybody else. You got kids watching you. You got people watching you looking for an example on how to take responsibility. You're not showing them. So evaluate yourself after losses. Identify what you did to contribute to the loss. Identify what you can do in order to better yourself. Even after wins, identify the role that you did not play. Don't take credit for all the wins. Identify what you could have done better after a win. And this is what we see the greatest do. We see the Tom Brady's of the world do this. And again, there's only a handful of the greats. The greats never relinquish power or responsibility. They always take it. So after wins, identify the role that you didn't play in that win. Keep that hunger. Limit time with the people who enable you, who are telling you nice things about yourself, who don't tell you the truth. If you got people in your circle who are always finding reasons or excuses for you for why you're not where you want to be, these are not the type of people that you want to stay around. If you got people who try desperately just to make you feel good, these are not the type of people you want around you. They're only going to make you softer. And then lastly, I want you to add more pressure to your training. Cats is soft, man. Add more pressure outside of the pressure situations. Take the shit that you're doing more serious. Find a way to make things more challenging, to make your training more challenging. Don't be the one always running from a difficult situation. All right? So listen, the world now more than ever needs more tough people. Your sport needs more tough athletes. There needs to be more tough quarterbacks, more tough linebackers, more tough shooting guards, more tough golfers, more tough tennis players, more tough skiers. Whatever your sport, there needs to be more tough athletes in that sport. Let that tough one be you. Let you be the one who takes responsibility, who stops blaming other people and says, look, I could do something about this situation. I'm going to push myself harder than I've ever pushed myself. I'm going to add more pressure to my training. I'm not going to have the media expect more from me than I expect from myself. And I'm certainly not going to blame the media. I'm not going to be crying and shit and blaming other people. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take ownership. I'm going to take responsibility. All right. So that's my challenge to you. So what I want you to do, I just want you to put one thing in the comments below. I want you to just say what's one thing that you could do to show more ownership and more responsibility. Just one thing you could do, whether it's add some more time to your training, whether it's review your training, whether it's whatever it is, listening to this video before you practice, listening to the Sports Motivation Podcast on iTunes or Spotify, or something to get your mind right, to put yourself back in a position of power. There's too much shit happening in this world, man, for us to have all these people in leadership positions looking soft. It's time for you to step into that leadership position. It's time for you to be tough, all right? So I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.